Thank you.
Is the screen visible, Kelly?
Looks good.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Jamuna Prajapati, and I'm doing my spring internship in Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. And thank you so much, Steph, for supervising me, and Kelly for assisting me with all the documents or papers that I required. So I will be doing this presentation on hydropower on Blackstone today. So let's begin. I would like to start with what is hydropower. So hydropower, basically, we all know that it's a kind of electricity generated from energy of flowing or falling water. It's a kind of sustainable energy that relies more on continuous flow of water on naturally replenished sources. I consider turbine and generators as the heart of hydroelectricity because those things convert kinetic energy of water into electrical energy. Hydro can be a clean energy source, but it requires a careful environmental management as uh, it helps it at its development can affect ecosystem and habitats as well. Unlike fossil fuel, hydropower does not produce harmful emissions or pollutants during its operation. But hydropower on the Blackstone River represent a fascinating intersection of technology, sustainability, and environmental stewardship. Uh, so discussing about hydropower in the Rhode Island, the state of Rhode Island has been proactive in promoting energy initiatives like green energy initiatives and recognizing the importance of transition towards sustainable energy sources. So despite of its smaller area, it has several small-scale hydropower installation going on, and it also has the limited potential for its large-scale hydropower due to its limited size and geography. So there is a need of like careful consideration of ecological and socio-cultural impact in energy development projects, as well as Blackstone or Blackstone Watershed in the Rhode Island is continuously exploring opportunities for renewable energy development, including micro hydro project by embracing innovative approaches and technologies. Yeah, so this is the map that shows hydropower on the Blackstone. And thanks, Kelly, for making this beautiful map. The Blackstone has unique geographic characteristics that make it suitable for hydropower production. As you can see, there is the dam situated near in the Blackstone Watershed. I would like to discuss about the hydropower electricity dam, which is now situated in the area. Firstly, let's speak about the Main Street Dam. Main Street Dam is one of the active dam right now, which is managed by Gravity Renewables Inc. And it is started in 2022, and it is expected to generate 4 gigawatt annually, whereas Valley Falls Dam is also one of the active dam, and it is managed by Blackstone Hydro Associated, which started in its operation in 2022, and it is estimated to produce 6 gigawatt annually. And Albion Dam is one of the new dam, as we know, and it is operated by New England Hydropower Company, and it's began its operation in 2023, estimated that it can produce 2.03 gigawatt annually, whereas Thunder Mist Dam, it is operated by City of Woonsocket, and its annual generation is 4.3 gigawatts since establishment in 2020. And these are also two active dams, active hydropower dams. One is Tupperware Dam, which is operated by Blackstone Hydro Inc. again, and it's began in 2021, and it is estimated to generate 4.02 gigawatt annually, whereas Riverdale Mills Dam is also a active hydropower generation dam, and it is operated by Riverdale Power and Electric Company, started in 2017, and it is estimated to produce 1.31 gigawatt annually. So these are the two non-active dams, which is Aston Dam and Elizabeth Waving Dam, but they have potential hydro on the Blackstone River these days. I would like to talk more about these dams. So these projects offer minimal hydropower generation and numerous cost without a compensatory benefit. That's why the degradation it can also cause some of the degradation of fish and the native vegetation, destroying the healthy environment. Relating to that, uh, here are some of the letters, or I would say the articles that has been proposed for the opposition of Ashton Dam hydroelectricity by the Valley Bridge, and by also later were written by Rhode Island Department of Energy Management, also by STEF through Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. And here is also one of the comment which was mentioned by people that Albion took place with the cover of darkness despite of numerous of objection, including from Save the Bay, but Ashton cannot be an option. And this is also a letter written by Nagasan Indian tribe in order to oppose the Ashton Dam. It also mentioned about what can be the impact to the Nipmuc and Nagasan communities if Ashton Dam is made. And this is also a letter written by Blackstone Watershed Collaborative to FERC, which opposes the use of Ashton Dam to generate hydropower. And relating to Elizabeth Waving Dam, it's one of the state-owned non-active hydro dam, which is generated by One Drop Hydro. It started its application in December 27, 2022, and it was approved in February 23rd, 2023. But there are some of the letters as well which were written in order to oppose the Elizabeth Waving Dam from the Chief Deputy Historic Preservation Officer of Nagasan Indian Tribe, and also through Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. Not only these, but 4 Native American tribes have written letters to FERC to express discontent with potential hydropower generation at Elizabeth Waving Dam. Now let's look at some of the impacts of hydro on different fields. Firstly, I would like to discuss about the financial impact. Everything has its cost and benefits. Uh, Relating to the watershed and those hydropower electricity generation dam in Blackstone watershed, some of the costs are high initial capital investment. Like building a hydropower plant requires a lot of money upfront. This includes cost of construction of dams, turbines, and infrastructure as well. But it's a big investment that may take time to pay off. Whereas some of the operational ongoing costs like maintenance, repair, and staffing also cost more, and the cost add up to over time and need to be factored into the overall economics of the plant. Dependency on hydroecological variability, maybe like hydropower generation relies on the availability of water, which can be affected by rainfall, snowmelt, as well as drought. So if water level decreases due to drought or any reasons, it can reduce the generation of hydroelectricity. Whereas it has also some financial benefits like low operating cost, long-term use and stability, as well as less dependence on imported fuel. Any of the state or country which has high hydroelectricity generation power can do not need to import the fossil fuel from the other areas. That's why it is less dependence on the imported fuel, whereas it is one of the long-term use and stable power generation. Um, yeah. So second one, I'd like to discuss about social and cultural impact. No wonder we have seen the letters written by the tribes as well, how it can hamper the people and their living standard as well. So hydropower projects have a significant impact on indigenous communities, including land use change and disruption of traditional practices as well. So indigenous people who exercise their aboriginal right, like to fish or hunt, to forage for their livelihood, may experience the chances of may experience the changes in their life, in their environment and their lifestyle. Too often indigenous people or indigenous communities are ignored and not represented during the decision making. And but some of the benefits are there, which can be like employment opportunities when the construction is going on, but if not, there is no benefits of employment opportunities in it. Whereas we can also educate to the people and the young generation and youth coming about the importance of green energy and how it can contribute to the to mitigation of climate change impact. And flat water opportunities for paddling, like us, the hydro generation helps us to maintain the flat water opportunities in the area that can make people or that can help people in order to have the recreational activities like paddling and some ones like wildlife viewing or enhancing the quality of life nearby communities and the visitors. The third one I would like to discuss, which is mostly important, is ecological impact. We have discussed these few things earlier, but I'd like to discuss in more detail about the ecological impact, which is cost and benefits. There are a lot of disadvantages because of the hydropower generation in the Blackstone watershed. One of the important thing I would like to highlight is the habitat of aquatic species. As we know that the hydropower project can have the significant impact on aquatic habitats and the species because it depends on them. And there is a phase migration going on, habitat alteration, and disruption of routes, as well as degradation of water quality, which will directly or indirectly hamper to the community as well as to the fish species, which is having the breeding process over there. But some of the benefits can be like it avoids carbon emission as it is the renewable energy which doesn't require fossil fuel. It also helped in improving water resources to some amount, and also it's a kind of renewable energy production. That's why, unlike fossil fuel, which are finite and non-renewable, water resources are replenished by precipitation and natural process by making hydropower a sustainable and environment-friendly energy option. So these are some of the points which I consider as a strategies for enhancement of aquatic environment. We can also utilize the fish ladders and bypass channels in order to make the fish species better for fish migration, whereas habitat management or vegetation management improve the water quality. If we do such activities, we can enhance the habitat for the aquatic ecosystem, and benefiting the wildlife and local communities can be considered as a supporting of healthy ecosystem in the area. And consideration of community well-being can be considered as a social and economic impact. On the other way, if we design the fish turbines, or there is a modification in the turbines or generators, it helps in reducing the fish mortality. This is my last slide, which I have mentioned about the key takeaways. I've learned a lot about the hydropower generation as well as Blackstone watershed and Rhode Island from this research in these 2 months. But my key takeaways would be like, okay, we should prioritize the proper consideration of financial, ecological, and social impact while going through any sustainable development projects or doing or construction of any hydropower dams in the watershed. Whereas hydro potential in Rhode Island, Blackstone River is like important, but rather than constructing a new hydropower plant, we should modify those hydropower plants which are already there, which can help us mitigate the impact in the watershed. No wonder geological features favor efficient hydropower development. That's why research is very much important, like where we are constructing the hydropower, what kind of geological feature does it have? And does it impact whole year, annually, or for several months, and how it can go so far or can be long lasting? Similarly, consistent flow ensures reliability of electricity production. That's why uh, any electricity generation or power plants should be made on the area where it has the flow of water properly. And environmental assessment is really crucial in order to mitigate the negative impact and balance the environment and ecosystem around it. And every time if we are taking the decision to make or construct any hydropower dam or doing any sustainable development changes, we should always respect indigenous culture, their values, and ensure their rights. um, yeah, that's my takeaway, and thank you so much for listening. That's my presentation.
Hey, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Are there any questions?
Stephanie, you had talked actually before we got started here. We were talking about dam removal, and obviously hydropower is going in the other direction, dam retention or dam creation. It also struck me that the amount generated when you have low head hydro, and variable flows and potentially drought conditions that can really mess up hydro production, especially where you don't have a lot of storage capability upstream from the dam. So if there's not much water flowing down and you don't have much storage and you need electricity during the peak times in the summer when everybody's running their AC, it's just not available. So I think there's a lot of downsides for hydro in these settings. And I know you have to balance it out, and that's what we're trying to do, but it just doesn't seem like the type of thing we really want to promote necessarily.
Yeah, I think one of our big ways also is in the zone in particular, people think, oh, there are already dams there, so this is less impactful to just put hydro on it. But at the same time, if we're creating all of that construction and we're disrupting these species and we're preventing fish passage, even though we don't have it yet, we're really working towards it. The amount of energy created from some of these, like you said, low head dams is very small. I think the proposal at Elizabeth Webbing, for instance, is like 300 homes, which isn't really a whole lot considering what the disruption would be. And so, I think Jamuna hit the nail on the head of trying to balance all of those different factors. But the low head dams in particular is a really good point. But I don't know if you want to tap onto that.
I would like to add a point about the Albion Dam as well, because Albion Dam has the capacity of like 3,100 megawatt annually, just the 3,100 megawatt, and that's annually for a whole year. And if we estimate if we see the total number of household in the Rhode Island, it contribute less than 1% of the household. That is tentatively 400 homes. So I think it doesn't make sense to construct the whole big chunk of hydroelectricity in the watershed, destroying the ecosystem and not contributing much in the people's livelihood.
Great. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions?
This is Kate. I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation. I certainly learned a lot. I especially really liked the map that shows where all of the active hydropower is currently being generated in the river. I hadn't seen it like that before, so that's very useful. And then also, this is just a classic example of trying to balance needs, renewable energy versus restoring ecosystems. And there's never any easy answer. But the more information we have about all aspects of the river, the better. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Kate.
Anyone else? Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Jamuna. That was wonderful.
Thank
Can I
you.
butt in for a second, actually? So on that
Yeah.
topic of what Kate said, the balancing renewables and protecting,
Energy ecosystem.
yeah, renewable energy and also protecting ecosystems. There's actually solar is the other one that comes up a lot when you talk about this.
Yeah.
And we have it listed in our events, but Mass Audubon is working with us to co-host an event next Thursday on their new work product growing solar, looking at how we can meet Massachusetts energy demands and our renewable energy goals while still not just cutting down blocks of forest for solar. So I'll put that in the chat if folks are interested in attending that free presentation.
Can I add something on that, Steph? Yeah, so about solar as well, when I was going through the research, I read some of the things that have written by Mass Audubon and some of the papers and articles. Yeah, it has those advantages as well as disadvantages as well. Similarly, for hydro, we have cost and benefits. In the same way, solar also have cost and benefits because people are massively using solar these days, cutting down the trees, destroying the ecosystem. But on the other hand, they should also know that hydro is good, but we cannot keep it like construct any hydro in between watershed, ignoring all the ecological balance. But at the same time, if we consider solar as well, solar cannot be also installed everywhere because it requires sunlight to produce electricity. And whole year, if we just depend on solar, I think it may create some of the lacking of electricity. If it is West Coast, like when I go through the slide, I discuss about the geography as well. If we have more on the West Coast where we have summer time for a longer period of time, it's good for solar. But state like in Massachusetts, isn't it like suitable? I would say suitable, but at the same time, is it good to install solar again? Because that will create a e-waste a lot in the future.
Yeah, I think the common theme between solar and hydro is just the states trying to blindly meet these energy goals that they're
Yeah.
putting forward without proper consideration of these other really important factors.
I think, yeah, to maintain, I think, a balance, we can take hydro and solar by hand, but considering where we are establishing it, that can be the probable good reason. Okay, thank you. So, any questions? Should I stop the screen share?
That would be great.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, everyone, for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you, Joanna. Thanks so much. That was great. Okay, so what we didn't do before the presentation was a round of introduction. So if we could do that really quick, that would be great. So hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm the restoration coordinator at the Collab. And Steph?
Morning, everybody. Stephanie Cavino from the Collaborative.
And you just heard from Jamuna, but Jamuna.
Hi, my name is Jamuna, and I'm a hydro intern at Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. Thank you.
Ted?
Hi, Ted Beauvais, president of the Blackstone River Watershed Association.
Great. Kate?
Not sure if you said Kate. This is Kate McPherson from Save the Bay.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Adam?
Hi, Adam Menard, town planner for Auburn.
John Marsland?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm John Moslin, president of the Blackstone River Watershed Council.
John. Donna?
Donna Williams, Blackstone River Coalition and Blackstone Heritage Corridor.
Greer.
Hi, everyone. Greer Jarvis, Resiliency Planner at the Central Mass Planning Commission.
Great. Judy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judy Rondo. I'm with the Non-Point Source Management section in the Watershed Planning Program at MassDEP.
And Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Coffey. I am a senior lab tech at Upper Blackstone Clean Water.
Who's next? I lost my place here. Aaliyah.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah Casso. I'm the conservation agent for the town of Shrewsbury.
And Dan.
I am Dan Giza. I'm a member of the Tatnick Brook Watershed Association, and I also work for a company called Verdantis, which is doing some fish passage work on the Blackstone.
Awesome. Matt Brown.
Good morning. I'm Matt Brown. I'm the executive director of ORS. So we work with the Suasco Watershed.
Beautiful. Vincent.
Hi, my name is Vincent Ty. I'm the stormwater coordinator for the town of Shrewsbury.
Nick.
Good morning. This is Nick Cohen. I'm an environmental planner with the Horsley Witten Group.
Okay, and Skylar.
I'm Skylar. I'm interning in the Non-Point Source Management section of DEP.
Deb. Carrie.
Oh, that's me. Deb Carey with Mass Audubon.
Wonderful. Thanks, Deb. And Katie Liming.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Liming. I'm the Lakes and Ponds coordinator at the City of Worcester.
Great. Heather Perry.
Hi, I'm Heather Perry. I'm with the Blackstone River Coalition, and I'm the program coordinator for the Water Quality Monitoring Program.
Heather. Marcella.
Hi, I'm from the Northbridge Conservation Committee.
Nadia.
Hi, I'm Nadia Madden. I'm with the Flood Hazard Management Program at the Department of Conservation and Recreation for the state of Massachusetts.
Thank you. And Allison.
Good morning. This is Allison Hamill with Rhode Island Department of Transportation.
Shireen.
Hi, I'm Shireen Hamane. I am the Visitor Services Supervisor over at the Blackstone River and Canal Heritage State Park.
Thanks. Phyllis.
Good morning. I'm Phyllis Charpentier, President, Manchog Pond Foundation. Very interested in solar construction sites and the impacts to the environment. Thank you.
Thanks. And Bill.
Bill Napolitano, Taunton River Watershed Alliance.
Thanks, Bill. And is there anyone that I missed? Great. Thanks for doing that. All right. So we'll go back to my screen here. And we'll just launch right into our updates. So from the collapse point of view, we don't have a ton to talk about for the Bikeway Greenway. If anybody has any updates that they want to share, feel free to unmute and chime in. And not a lot happening on that front right now. We don't have a ton going on for our university work either at the moment. I think the extent of our university work is our work with Jamuna these past couple months. So that's been great. And Fish Passage. So another plug for our fish migration parade on May 19th. We're really excited about the event. It's going to be from 1 to 4 at Slater Mill in Pawtucket. We'll have some family-friendly activities and tabling for the first hour. We'll have fish that are cut out, paper fish that are cut out, and you can color them, and then later on we'll march them in the parade. And then from 2 to 3, we're going to have drumming, dancing, and speaking from the Narragansett Indian tribe and the Hassanamisko Band of Nipmuc. So that'll be wonderful. And we'll end the day with parading our herring around Pawtucket. It's a 1-mile loop that starts and ends at Slater Mill. So we're really excited about that. There'll be food trucks too as well. So come hungry, and yeah, it's just going to be a really wonderful day. Fish costumes are encouraged but not required. So if you have any fun fish garb, feel free to bring it. And we have the Eventbrite link here if you want to register. Registration isn't required, but it's encouraged so we can get an idea of who's coming and how many. And if you'd like to table or sponsor the event, feel free to reach out to me or to Steph. And there is an amendment proposed, Amendment 10 to the Atlantic Herring Fishery Management Plan, which is designed to improve conservation and attain optimum yields of the Atlantic herring by doing 3 things. So it's going to recognize the herring's role as a forage species, minimize user conflicts, and address the incidental catch of river herring and shad. So there's 2 ways that you can help. You can attend one of 6 scoping hearings that will run until April 22nd. So you can do that in person or virtually. And you can also submit public comments. So the period for public comments is now until April 30th. So we have the email here, and that'll be in our notes as well, that you can direct comments to. And moving on to water quality. So we're really excited for the Blackstone River Coalition's annual Water Quality Summit that's coming up. That'll be on Saturday, April 6th from 9 to 12 at the Cumberland Public Library, and we'll be presenting there on what the collab is, maybe talk about Fish Passage a little bit. So if you're interested, you can go to our website on the events page, and we have an event listed there with the flyer and some more information about registering as well. And that'll be in our notes too, or you can contact Heather Perry. And the next Dam Busters is on April 3rd, and that'll be on addressing infrastructure. So we're excited for that as well. And as a reminder, all of the past recorded webinars are available on the Mass Rivers website. So if you happen to miss one, don't panic, they're all cataloged there for you. And for Worcester CSO, there were 3 events, one on March 2nd, one on the 6th, and one on the 10th. There was no untreated water that was discharged to the Blackstone. The only combined water was partially treated at the treatment facility in Green Island. So those numbers in millions of gallons were 9, 15, and 7 respectively. We also had a sanitary sewer overflow in Lake Quinsigamond, and that was 193,000 gallons. And that occurred in late February on the 20th. So more information there. I believe that was just a failure of infrastructure. It was a pipe burst. And we also have a new Blackstone CSO working group. So if you're interested in these topics, definitely feel free to let me or Steph know, and we'll put you on those emails. We'll be meeting about every other month, so not too much of a time commitment, hopefully, for folks. And I'd like to plug this event. It's the Family Fun Fishing Day. That'll be on May 4th from 10 to 1 p.m. at Riverbend Farm in Uxbridge. So I didn't get to go last year, but it seems like a really great event and a really good way to connect with the river. So if you're interested, you can go to this website, Open Skies, and there'll also be a link in our notes as well. And lastly, some funding opportunities that are coming up. So due on April 4th is the America the Beautiful Challenge. This is a federal grant. The collab is thinking about applying. We're not 100% sure yet. So more on that soon. Then we have the SNEP SWIG, the Watershed Implementation Grant from SNEP that's due on April 5th. Also, the MVP Action Grant Program RFP just dropped a couple days ago. So that will be due on April 24th. And the 604B 319 Grant Program for Water Quality Management Planning and Implementation will be due May 8th. So the collab will be applying to that. We're hoping to create a watershed-based plan for the entire Blackstone. So we're excited for that, and we're collaborating with the city, who is also putting in a 604B grant application as well. And a little bit further out, but the SNEP SOAR, the Opportunity to Advance Resiliency grant from SNEP, will be due June 7th. And I think before I turn it over to you all, I think we were going to talk a little bit about some work that Emily Vogler is doing on a paddle guide. So let me share my screen. So Emily Vogler, a professor at RISD and a landscape architect, we work very closely with her. She's also the author of the Dam Atlas. And we've talked a lot about the Dam Atlas in these meetings. So if you don't know, it's a great resource on the dams in the Narragansett Bay region. So she's helping us put together a paddling guide for the Blackstone. And we've been working on this for a couple months now, and it's almost done, not 100% ready to be shared yet, but we thought that we'd give you a little preview of what it looks like. So here we have the map portion and a little blurb about each segment and each location here. So this is the first page. And then, this is the second page here. So it goes through all of the different dams. Oh, my computer is so mad at me. It goes through all of the dams and shows you how to get around them. So we're excited about that being finalized. And yeah. So now I'll turn it all over to you all. If you have any updates, feel free to drop it in the chat or raise your hand or just jump right in and unmute.
Jump in for a second. If we can go back to the map for a second and just say that if folks are interested, I talked to Emily briefly this morning, if folks are interested in reviewing that and providing edits, we're trying to get it to print next week by the end of the week. But if you have time and you wanted to take a look at it, we're happy to send it to you offline. Or if you had a specific question about zooming in and looking at something, let us know. Thanks.
Okay, Judy?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to provide a little bit of additional information on the two groups. Yeah, so the 604B was RFP was released last Friday. If you have questions, you can submit written questions to our 604B grant coordinator, Megan Selby, by 5 p.m. on March 20th, which is coming up quick. And then proposals, as you said, are due on May 8th. And we're anticipating that the 319 will be released today. We haven't gotten confirmation from our financial people yet that it's been uploaded, but written questions for that can be submitted to our 319 coordinator, Malcolm Harper, and those are due on March 29th. And then the proposal deadline is a little bit later than 604B, so folks aren't scrambling to prepare 2 different grants at the same time. So that is going to be due at 5 p.m. on May 24th. And I'm going to just drop the link to our grants website in the chat, and you can find the RFPs as well as those important dates and also other kind of supporting resource documents at that site.
Thanks so much, Judy.
You're welcome.
John Marsland?
Yes, we have a bunch of people interested in purchasing a boom to go across the Blackstone down before the Pratt Dam. There's a tremendous amount of plastic litter that comes down the river, and it gets caught up by the dam, and it almost looks like a third world country, the amount of trash that accumulates there. So Stephanie Santos with the Lincoln Conservation Commission has looked into a boom, and they go for about $30,000. And the Woonasquatucket has a boom company coming up sometime next month to install one on the Woonasquatucket. And I think we're going to contact the same company and look into maybe having one installed on the Blackstone. So we have the Tourism Council, the Lincoln Town Administrator, Friends of the Blackstone, and the Lincoln Conservation Commission are all getting together to look into this and to try to collect this stuff before it gets out into the bay.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
This is Nick from Horsley Witten. John, I know some advocates in the Malden River in Massachusetts did a bunch of research on booms and recently, I think, got one through similar efforts to you're describing. So if it'd be helpful for me to connect you with them, I'd be happy to share whatever they learned. I know they went through a lot of research to try to match up the technology and costs and all sorts of variables.
Yeah, I guess the big thing is who's going to take the trash out of the boom when it collects. That's kind of a issue. You got to plan for the end game. You can't just collect all this trash and then see it behind the boom and not have a way of collecting it. So it's not going to be easy with the flow of the river and things like that. But that seems like another big issue is maintenance of the boom.
Great, yeah. Anyone else? And Hillary just dropped the MVP fiscal year 25 action grant RFR in the chat as well. So there's a link there if anyone's interested.
The other update, which is so exciting, is that we are having our next meeting in April in person. So those of you who have been here since the beginning, remember that we had one meeting ever in person, and it was the first one, and it didn't go very well. And I'm still mildly scarred from our technological issues that meeting. So I've never done it again, but we have confidence in our technical skills now after running many, many meetings in the same room. The downside is that it's in Worcester, so anyone who's in mid or southern reaches of our watershed, it's kind of a hike, and we're sorry for that. But this way we know we can run a really successful hybrid meeting. So it'll be at Clark University in ASAC, which if you're at Clark and the gates for Clark are on one side, it's the other side of the street, that big red building there. So we'll give you more details about it, tell you where to park. You can park right behind that building, you can park in the street, wherever works for you. It'll be at the same time, 10 to 12 on Friday, April 19th, I want to say. Yeah, 19th. And we're also going to be partnering with the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program to run this meeting. If you haven't heard yet, NBEP is working on its new CCMP, Conservation Management Plan, Coastal Conservation Management Plan, maybe. It's called Vision 2034, and it's what are we going to do for the next 10 years within the Narragansett Bay? What's the state of the research, and what are our topic areas and focuses? And so they're going to be running this meeting with us because we had asked you what you wanted to see more of. And what we heard back from that poll was we want more hands-on activities, and we want more decision-making around what are the goals and the priorities for this watershed. So NVP is working with us to focus just on the Blackstone, and we'll have some activities and small group things and kind of sticky dot kind of activities to think about what are our priorities, what are the things that you care most about, and what should both NVP and the Blackstone Collaborative be working on within the next few years. So this is really helpful for us to say that we have your support and we know what you want, that, you know, we're here really to just kind of bring everyone together and focus on what the important topics are, whatever those might be. So especially as we go for grants in the future that are going to be most important and helpful, it's good background. So reminder, April 19th, we'd love to see you in person. We will send out something just so we get a better idea of how many people are in person versus virtual, and we'll give you snacks. So that's the perk if you show up, is you get cookies. So thanks, and hope to see you. I'll send you a link in a minute, and also in your meeting notes of how to sign up in person. Thanks.
Yeah, there will be snacks, so. All right, Heather, Carrie?
Yes, hi. I just wanted to thank the collaborative for advertising both our Water Quality Summit April 6th and our need for volunteers. So we're still looking for volunteers if anybody is interested. It's once a month from April to November. And it's the second Saturday of each month. And you can contact me, and the collab nicely has all our information on their website. So if you're interested, just shoot me an email. Thanks.
Awesome, thanks, Heather. And Greer?
Hi, yeah, so hi again, everyone. My colleague Sarah Plutnicki normally attends these meetings, but she wasn't able to make it today, so I'm just kind of filling in, listening in. And first of all, it was great listening to all of this. And I'm not sure how much she has already shared about this. I'm sure she has shared everything, but I just wanted to reiterate that as part of the MVP 2.0 pilot program, we are doing a regional project with the towns of Douglas, Sutton, Northbridge, Uxbridge. Douglas, Sutton, Northbridge, Uxbridge, yep. And we are still looking for community liaisons from 3 out of 4 of those towns. If any of you would like a link to our Dropbox with the job descriptions, we would love if you know anyone that's interested who has community connections in these towns, or you could promote it in any way. We would really appreciate it. I can drop my email in the chat, but yeah, please reach out if you would like some more information, but really appreciate any promotion you've already done. And if any of you have any other ideas of how else we can promote it, we would love to be in touch. So thank you.
Thank you, Greer. Yeah, we do have the link to those job descriptions in our notes as well. So covered.
Yeah, we're looking for some more applications from all the towns, except we have Douglas well covered. If we come across somebody who's from Douglas or could represent Douglas, we would be happy to interview them, but mainly focusing on finding some more folks from Northbridge, Uxbridge, and Sutton at the moment. And again, it's community outreach based position, and we would be providing the training that is provided by the program. So very exciting project.
Yeah, sounds it. Great. Anyone else?
While we have you on the call, if you can literally take 30 seconds and just click on that link, I'd really appreciate it. Just let us know. It's just one question. Are you attending virtually or in person next month? If you know you can't attend next month, don't worry about it. You don't have to go to the survey, but while we have your attention, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph. Okay, well, I'm not hearing anyone, so we will see you all at our next meeting on April 19th. And as Steph said, that'll be hybrid in person. We hope to see you at Clark. Again, we'll have snacks, so come hang out with us. And thank you all for coming and sharing today.
Thanks all. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
You too.